100. If I could get you guys to turn on your cameras, that would be absolutely amazing. Great to see everybody here. Hopefully you guys having a great week. I'm having a great week. It's Thanksgiving week. It's my birthday week, which is absolutely awesome. And we had an amazing celebration with the Mindset Masters, which was just so heartwarming. Brought a tear to my some of the comments and stuff in there. And I wanted to ask you guys just in general. I mean, we have people coming into all tiers of the matrix. The energy, if you guys can feel it, some of you are on all the calls, you can just feel this amazing energy of just attracting at a high level, attracting really, really good people, good humans into all levels. And I want to officially welcome Scott and Jeff to the group. Obviously, you guys saw them last week. They came in hot, man. They've already talked to a lot of you guys and set up meetings, and they've been doing all the things, holding themselves accountable, jumped right into TIR. So officially welcome to the group, guys. It's great to have you in here. And today we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving and prayer, and also from the quantum side of it, right? There's science and theology. We like to blend things here and mastermind on that. But why don't we start with some wins? Who's got some good wins that they want to share to get the energy up? And it's probably going to be a little bit of a slow week. I know some people are traveling today. That's why we have a little bit of a low attendance Thanksgiving week, but appreciate you guys there. So Chris, Greg, you had your hand up.
Oh, well, of course, I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving week. Obviously, there's a lot to be grateful for every day. And one of the things that I've been practicing is every hour on the hour, I send out just a gratitude text to someone that I've been thinking of, and it keeps in vibration. It's just a good practice just to say, hey, man, I'm thankful for you. And I've reached out to some like old friends that I grew up with that we haven't talked to in years and years. And it's just like, the feedback that you get and the memories that are created, right? Very powerful emotional hooks. So I'm not saying you have to do that, but it's just something that I've been really practicing in on and honing myself in on, with just keeping a vibration and just keeping the energy up. So very grateful for that.
Oh, do you have a little reminder or something, or are you just conditioned to do it? Well,
I started setting a timer on my phone because one of the practices that I've had for years was like, how did you use the last hour? How efficient were you with the last hour? And so just taking it's 30 seconds, right? It's just like, I'm so thankful for you, whatever. And so it's just, it's been amazing, the feedback, and really unpredictable in the outcomes. It's been really incredible.
Well, I do the same thing, but I don't do it every hour. I do it in bulk.
Yeah.
I'll send like a lot of you get them. I'll send like 50 out or 40 like in a chunk, but I never every hour on the hour. I mean, you're getting in harmony with turning a light switch on and leaving it on, right? Because you can't send love to somebody and be in a bad mood, probably.
Right. No, it changes everything. Because you can do it in bulk, like you said, and that's fine too. It's just from my perspective, it keeps me in vibration.
So. Yeah, no, I love it. That's amazing. I've never heard of anybody taking it to that level every hour on the hour. It makes sense. So awesome. Nelson, what about you? It's a good win.
So I've got a really cool one. So I just closed the deal yesterday with a new customer. I started chasing them 11 years ago.
My man, a fellow sales terminator.
Yes. So
bro, I resonate with that. I resonate. I like, to me, it's a chess game, right? And it's like, especially in the matrix, I know what we're bringing to the table. I know people need this, and when you've been working with somebody for multiple years, you went over a decade with that one. That might be a record.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I love it. Ara, what about you, bud? What's a good win?
Well, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, people may not know that's a real win.
Yes. No, I think I'm very thankful for everything that God has given me, and thankful for his family. The win is to be around you guys, learn from you guys every day, and come up with new opportunities. I mean, almost every day it feels like I'm talking to somebody else in a group. Just got off the phone with Greg and Michael and Jeff, and just think, learn, and grow. That's all.
No, I love it. And it's true. There's so many good opportunities when you're in harmony with God and have a group like this. And yeah, Jeff's got his hands full with his little ones, so sometimes he bounces in and out. But I know a lot of you have been connecting with him on the side, and just an amazing human being. So I love it. Chris, we'll do one more. What's your win, bud?
So my win is I just spent the last couple of days out of town with my wife, and it's probably been about 7 years since the two of us have gone out of town without the kids.
Oh my
We
God,
went
wow.
Yeah, went into some cold weather. We're spent the time in Upper Michigan. It was beautiful. It was nice.
I love that. It's so easy to get caught in that trap. I've definitely been guilty of that. And, you know, sometimes when everybody here is running their own businesses, every single one of you, there's no employees here. And when you're doing that, sometimes the business can pull you. It is what, next thing you know, you're 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for a minute, which is fine. It happens. But we gotta remember to pull ourselves back and don't stay stuck there. Use the community if anybody's in that position. That's why we have that here. And Jeff and Scott, when you guys feel comfortable, 3-4 weeks in, just raise your hand. Let me know when you guys want a hot seat. You can do it together. You can each have one separately. Just let me know. And there's no, don't worry about it. It's just when you really kind of tell the group, what you're all about, your background, some of the things you've done, and more importantly, what you're looking to do. And then how can we help? If you're looking for connections or funding or whatever that is, us sharing something, we'll jump. It's just, when you're comfortable, raise your hand and let me know. We'll get that booked. Let's see. Mr. Len, would you mind reading the new and improved mastermind principles if I bring those up?
That'd be great. Thank you.
And I'll email these to you guys too, so you have them. It's just our own little version.
So our mastermind principles. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this blessed day and for allowing us to come together in a spirit of harmony to mastermind for the benefit of all our mastermind members, our families, and for the good of mankind. We ask that you bless this mastermind group today and every day forward. We release ourselves to the mastermind because we are strong when we have others to help us. We believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond our own. We understand that we will more easily create more positive results in our lives when we are open to looking at ourselves, our challenges, and opportunities from another's point of view. We decide to release our desire totally and trust to the mastermind, and we are open to accepting new possibilities. We forgive ourselves for mistakes we have made. We also forgive others who have wronged us in the past so we can move into the future with a clean slate. We ask God and our mastermind family to hear what we really want, our goals, our dreams, and our desires. And we hear our mastermind partners supporting us in our fulfillment. We accept, we know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to our every need. We are grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. We now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply us with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. We dedicate ourselves to be of maximum service to the world and our fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. We go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Awesome. Thank you for
Beautiful.
that, brother. Valerie,
You are
can you
welcome.
ping me so I email you that so we can get that out to everybody, and maybe we can even have it laminated or something, or it should be up on the portal, should be on the website, should be accessible everywhere. So
Yep,
thank you for that, Lenny.
got the
Great.
email together. You should all receive it this afternoon.
Oh, did I already send you that?
I have it.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. Well, it's Thanksgiving week, right? And it'd be a good time. This is kind of off the cuff, by the way. Masterminding in understanding the quantum field from the science side of it, what we call God and energy and consciousness, prayer, transmutation of energy. It's really all saying the same thing. And I wanted to kind of jump into that a little bit, but I do want to also give thanks to all of you guys that the Mindset Masters, our lowest tier program, Mindset Masters, no one left behind. I've always had a visions of legitimately having like millions of people on there. It's a Facebook group. There's 3 billion people on Facebook. And as you guys know, I kind of got off track on that last year. And, the service to many is the biggest push, I think, in 2024 in the matrix. So a lot of you have been helping. Some of you even jumped in on it. It's really powerful. So thank you for those that have been helping us with the Mindset Masters. And for those of you that doesn't know what it is, this is entry level. This is not this group. This is the other end of the spectrum, right? You guys are all in the 1% financially and mindset wise. And I do mean in the world. That's what this group is. So the Mindset Masters is really the 97%. It's people that are struggling, maybe people that you know, friends, family, that just need a little bit of information. They just need a little bit of a community. It's like $1 a day. So if anybody knows somebody, especially like siblings or people that are, you know, in the dark or in a bad place, just get them connected with, you know, Valerie or somebody from the team or Angie, and we'll help them out. But I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because some of you guys are already helping out and some of you guys are showing up there. And the other thing we got to do too is maybe we could do that right now with a show of hands. We want to pick the next content. We've had a couple of suggestions. We're gonna wind up the Science of Getting Rich, and we had a suggestion of Power of the Subconscious Mind from Dr. Joseph Murphy. I was thinking also another one, and we can do these in succession, but Becoming Supernatural from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then at some point, I think it'd be neat to get into some Esther Hicks stuff, which is Ask and It Is Given. So the three choices are Power of the Subconscious Mind, Becoming Supernatural, or Ask and It Is Given. So show of hands, who would like the Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What about Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I think that's most of the people. So why don't we do this? We'll do Becoming Supernatural next, and then Power of the Subconscious Mind after that, because it was almost a tie, but there was one more for Becoming Supernatural. And Jeff and Scott, you may not have heard of either of those. Don't worry about it. I want to make sure you guys don't get overwhelmed. You have time. You're going through thinking the results. Just stay in that. You'll hear a lot of stuff here, but don't feel like you're missing out or any of that, because this is an ongoing journey together, all right? So that being said, I want to flip over to a little bit of imagery, as you guys all know, which I love. And kind of get into the understanding. Oops, let me see here. There we go. Can you guys all see the stick man here? Cool. So this is obviously the crux of what Bob Proctor and Dr. Thurman Fleet came up with. Well, Dr. Thurman Fleet came up with it in the 1932 or 34, but this is what Bob teaches, right? And we've all seen this, probably some of you over 1,000 times now, certainly hundreds. And same with me. This thing is like, it's committed to my subconscious. You know, understanding the parts of you is what it is. This is a mind map. This is the thing we should be giving it at like age 4 years old. And it should be taught all through elementary school and high school, right? It should be part of a curriculum. Understanding the thinking mind, the conscious mind, which is the electro, right? Electromagnetic. It's also the masculine energy. Right now we're getting outside of thinking and results quite a bit here, but the conscious mind, it's the electro part of the equation. If we put electrical fields out, we put magnetic fields out. Human beings, whether you know this or not, it's part of metaphysics or the physiology of a human being. And these fields are what cause attraction. This is how we're all here, by the way. You know, you guys were looking for something bigger, and our company, our team is always putting energy out for the masters of the universe to come into the Elite 100. So it's a two-way street, whether we realize it or not. And then understanding at some level these fields that we're putting out. So this image just kind of shows that, right? Like, okay, we're putting out electro vibrations or electro energy from our conscious thinking. And then in the subconscious is the magnetic. So electromagnetic. Subconscious is the feminine energy too. And guys, I don't make this stuff up. The feminine energy is, you know, many, many more times powerful than masculine energy. But whether you're looking at the Bible, you know, through theology or science, the masculine energy or the conscious mind can, I don't want to say control, but I guess can organize or control the subconscious. It's almost like in the conscious mind, you're the captain of a 200,000 ton cruise ship, and the 200,000 ton cruise ship is the subconscious or the feminine energy. So So it's the unity of the two, right? I'm not saying men and women, I'm saying masculine and feminine. So we understand that we put out fields in the electro and fields in the magnetic, but the question is, where are we putting that out to, right? This energy. And when we study quantum mechanics and quantum physics, the theory, they theorize that there is the quantum field, right? And in theology, I guess it's energy, right? There's God consciousness and there's energy. But understanding a little bit about, or having an image of like this field where everything's possible. Like all things are possible. We can pull in, we can create. You guys are all doing this, whether it's our family, our body, our businesses. We have the ability to project out to God or project into the quantum field. It's saying the same thing. Consistent energy to manipulate energy into form, right? That's what we're really doing. And in thinking in the results, it's called the transmutation of energy. So we've been studying the science of getting rich, which is very left brain, masculine physics, right? It's more that, even though he talks about God, and he talks about the thinking stuff, right? Almost like molten plastic, where we solidify the plastic into form. So we have all these different analogies and visions of kind of what we're doing when we're creating. But it gets easy to get off track, let's say, or it gets easy to get pulled, or it gets easy to have the physical world just really pull us, and we forget about this stuff, right? We forget about projecting energy into this thinking stuff, or projecting energy into this quantum field. But this is also what prayer is, right? So I wanted to ask you guys, and we've done this a little bit before, I'll just start with Nelson. You're in the upper left. What are your methods, either prayer or putting energy out into the universe or into the quantum field? What are some of the things you do like on a daily basis towards this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously prayer, attitude of gratitude, but really, and I haven't, to be honest, haven't been doing it on a daily basis like I was in a habit at one point. But when I'm in my groove, spending an hour during lunchtime with meditation music and really, focusing on that intent, that desire with a positive attitude of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And when you exercise that on a continuous basis, you really do have a sense of that connection to the field, or that connection to God, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because anything is possible if you truly believe it, if you truly want it, and you start attracting it from the quantum field. So meditation is the answer. I haven't been doing it on the daily, but that is the habit where I experience it the best.
Well, so lesson 2, and I don't know if you remember, what is lesson 2 in thinking in the results?
The knowing doing gap.
Yep.
So here's what you can do that might help. I mean, you shower every morning, yes?
Yep.
Do it there.
Yeah.
That's one place where I do it religiously every single day. I connect to God, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. But I'm visualizing, and right now my goal is $1 million a month through the matrix, and it's the money's irrelevant. I actually have the breakdown across all of our courses in Mindset Masters and all of it in Elite 100. I have the breakdown of the humans that are being impacted. It's over 10,000, right? So the money is just a quick way for me to get to humans. But if nothing else,
to your point, my 10-15 minutes in the sauna every morning, I have been using that time frame as well to
perfect.
It's not a 45-minute meditation, but it's a 10-15 minute meditation, right? So
no, that's perfect. So you do this every day then? Yeah, some 45 minutes can be challenging for busy people sometimes. I learned the art of transcendental meditation, but I'm all over the place with it. It's 20 minutes twice a day. So I have challenges too. It's a knowing doing gap. It's priority. It's the count. It's all the things we teach. But I find that, I'm very busy right now, very, very busy. And, my life has gotten out of balance towards the second half, most of 2023. And in 2024, I'm going to pull it back in balance, right? I really want to grow what we're doing here in the Matrix, but I don't miss the shower time with God, right? That connection, or whatever that is, whatever it means for you guys, putting energy out into the quantum field. It's the same thing. Lenny, I think, or Ara, somebody had their hand up.
I did.
Yeah.
So that you're giving the phrase cleansing the body and the soul a new meaning.
Mm.
Doing it in the shower.
Yeah. Well, you know who else did this practice?
Ooh,
Bob Proctor.
there you go.
He took extended showers, and he would close his eyes and connect to God. And he visualized, because you can feel the water, and it's hot and it's warm and it's amazing, right? Unless you guys are crazy and taking cold showers. But he would visualize the warm lavender energy flowing to and through him, pulling out what he didn't want and putting in what he did. Right? Because there's energy flowing to and through us all the time. We cannot turn this off. And you can feel it sometimes, but most times this is just happening and we don't know it. And other times it gets low frequency. We color it low frequency. Next thing you know, you're upset or you're feeling off or anxiety. So Bob would visualize literally the flowing of energy to and through him in the shower, and he would project into the quantum field that which he was looking to manipulate into form. And here's the reality, guys. Most people, including us, we can get like this. This is when things aren't going well. Our fields are not in balance because we're not taking time to rebalance them purposefully daily. So this is why I say a picture's worth 1,000 words, isn't it? When we're getting results that are not in harmony with what we want, this is what's going on. And this is what most of the world looks like, unfortunately. So what are some things we can do to rebalance these fields? I'll go with Mr. Barnett. What are some things we can do to get these fields back in balance?
Well, I think for me, I have some of the same challenges of finding the time to do the meditation. And although I do gratefuls and affirmations every day, I need to find more time. So that's back to working with the calendar to make sure I get that appropriate rebalancing.
Mm-hmm. So I would suggest to do that right after this call. Close the knowing doing gap, look at the calendar, and I don't care if it's 5 a.m. or late, some time, and even if it's 10 minutes. And like I said, or you can accept the idea of in the shower could be another thing, right? Because that's usually non-negotiable. You know, my opinion is we don't want to go one day without purposefully connecting to source. And it's funny, when our lives are in chaos, we actually need to do this more, not less. So my advice would be, like, as soon as this call is over, like, close the knowing doing gap, look at your calendar, block out some time for yourself, something every day. You know, you can combine it with exercise too, guys, right? If you're cycling at the gym, you can close your eyes and listen to something and meditate and pray to God. I do that as well. So you can combine some things to make some of this happen.
Well, usually when I exercise, I've been lately for the past, I want to say 15 days, I'm listening to the power of awareness. And before that, for probably 45 days, I listened to Sleep by Neville Goddard.
Oh, wow. So that is also, that type of content is also somewhat meditative and will also connect you to source, things from like Neville and Thomas Troward, because it gets you to contemplate. And if you're listening to it, and correct me if I'm wrong, when I listen to content like that, my mind does go off track, and I do pray or connect to source or talk about $1 million a month, you know, for the matrix. So you're probably getting some of that if you're doing some of that every day, but maybe the shower thing will give you a little horsepower. Eric, what about you, bud? Eric G. What are some things you do to rebalance these fields?
Just spending time and focusing. It seems like there's 100 different directions to go. And just putting one thing in your mind at a time instead of having 10 things. That's one thing that I have worked on and improved on.
Nice. You bring up something I think probably happens to everybody here. We have a lot of us, we have 1 million things, right? Pun intended, but we have dozens of things usually, and maybe even over 100 between family, you know, businesses, getting to the gym. Like, we have all these thoughts and stuff. And one thing that may help you guys, that will help rebalance the field, is to remove the clutter from our minds. I've been working with a rabbi every week, and we're talking about order being heaven's first law, bringing order to your life, bringing balance to your life. So you guys probably all have read this in, I don't even know what book it is now, maybe Think and Grow Rich, but there's an efficiency expert, Ivy Lee, that was hired by Andrew Carnegie in the United States Steel Company. And he was proposing to do some work and bring order or bring efficiency to the companies globally. And Andrew Carnegie said, you know, we've taken all the courses, we've done all the things, but if you can give me something that will bring efficiency to the team, he said, I'll write a blank check. So he said, here's what I want you to do. He said, have all of your team have a piece of paper every night. Think about the goal of the company, not tasks, you know, not not clerical things, not bank runs, but think about all the things that will move the company towards its goal. And then write down the top 6 things you're working on towards your C-type goals. So the way you guys could do that here is that you all have C-type goals. If it's $1 million a month, it's like, what are the top 6 things that you could be doing or working on towards that goal? And you say, get them out of your head onto paper. And then the key to this is to reorganize them from 1 to 6. What is the number one thing tomorrow when you wake up and start working that you should be working on towards your C-type goal? And Eric, for you, it might be a COO, right? It might be getting a key person, right? Freeing up your time, right? But it gets easy to get distracted, and you know, we have to go look at the house chart. We have to go look at things. I'm not saying you can't do certain things, but most of us, you have little white spaces in your calendar. You have booked appointments, which need to be done. We all do. But the white spaces, like, what are you working on in the white spaces? And if you have this list of 1 to 6, you're always going to be working on the number one thing to move you towards your goal. It's such a simple concept, but a lot of people don't do that. So that's the benefits there are immeasurable. Here's the biggest benefit. When you go to bed at night, you get all the clutter out of your head onto paper. Or when you shut the day down, when you stop working for the day, take like 5 minutes, get it all out of your head onto your journal or onto your list, so that you can spend that evening in clarity with your family at dinner. You can go to bed with clarity, not wondering, what have I got to do tomorrow? I never wonder at all, what do I have to do tomorrow? My calendar, you guys have seen it. I mean, it's pretty colorful. So I don't really go to bed worrying about stuff too much, or wondering what I'm going to do tomorrow. So take that or leave it, but it's a pretty good habit. It's a habit of the world's first recorded billionaire. I want you to think about that. This is a billionaire habit. Simply getting out of your head every night, reorganizing, what's the one thing I got to, 1 through 6. And you keep working on number 1 till it's done, and then number 2 comes up, so on and so forth. But it's a great little principle. Nelson?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do the kind of a version of that. We do top 5 every morning, right? Our whole company, we just send a top 5
Perfect. Yeah.
priorities. We all share it in our Slack channel, and it's the same thing. It gets you really clear on what your day is about to have. And then at the end of the day, you revisit your top 5, make sure you got those done. If you did, that ideally is a productive day.
That's a very simple, almost identical, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the other thing too, revisit every so often the wheel of life and figure out where you are.
Well, let me ask you, show of hands, and you guys all get this for free. Who is registered and taken the 100-question Wheel of Life audit? Ooh. So one of our newest members has done it, but the rest of you have not closed the knowing doing gap. Valerie's the house mom. Now listen, guys, this thing, once you register for it, and I would do it today. It's 100 questions, but they're 1 to 10. I mean, you can go through it in about 10 minutes. So it's not a daunting task. But once you register for it, it will email you once a month to take it and to watch that. Do it once a quarter, right? But it's an X-ray, it's a snapshot. So Nelson, good point. But instead of like sporadically revisiting the Wheel of Life, like when it comes to your mind, let's get that out of mind and let's automate it. right? The more things we can get out of mind, whether it's a calendar reminder, the more clear we'll be to focus on our C-type goals. So if you haven't done that, Valerie, is there a link or they have to register? What's the deal? Put the link in the chat. Yeah, click
Yep,
the
put the
link.
link,
You guys
yep.
you all have portals. And Valerie, moving forward, it's probably why Scott's done it. New Elite 100 members should be taking that like as part of their onboarding, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. So congratulations, Scott. Killed it. So this little chart here too that I got for you guys that we made, I think you all have them. Here's another way to balance the fields, right? The conscious field is like the physical. Think of physical. It's the electro, right? Print that sheet out. I think you guys all have them, and put some of the physical things that you're looking to achieve, right? Half a dozen things, 6, 7 things, fill that out, right? So this is my personal one, right? This is personal. And then on the magnetic side, the emotional side, how does it feel? This is how you balance the field. You spend some time on the electro and the physical and the conscious, and you spend some time in the magnetic, the subconscious, the feminine energy, right? So I have one of these on my bedstand. Actually, it's still in my Elite 100 book. I got to put it back in my bedstand. Taking this out and just visualizing it and visualizing it go, this will help to rebalance the fields, right? Trey, what's up, bud? Good to see you. We were just talking about different ways to sort of balance the electromagnetic fields that we're putting out. What are some habits that you do towards that? Because I know you're obviously connected to source at a very high level and you pray and meditate, but what are some things you do on a daily basis to get yourself balanced out again?
I appreciate you asking, Brian. Absolutely. I mean, for me, it really all started. I went on a mission trip with our church when I was a teenager to Guatemala. We went to the outskirts of Guatemala, and it was the first time my eyes met real poverty. Saw some women and children living in a ditch, and I locked eyes with a kid as I walked by. And I didn't think anything else of it. But then for months after that trip, I woke up, I would have a dream, and I would wake up in the middle of the night, having dreamt that I was that child, looking back at this surfer-looking teenager guy walking by at the time. I had long blonde hair. It was a different time of life. But ever since that experience, I thought, who am I to say woe is me, or to say, man, these problems suck? It's like, it's all relative. But also I felt, Brian, who am I to let a blessing go by unchecked? So there's the law of familiarity, which states that the more we experience something, the more we have a tendency to take it for granted. So a lot of my life is like combating the law of familiarity, to say like, man, how wonderful is it to be Brian or Valerie or Jeff or Greg or Blake or Eric? How wonderful is it to be them really? And how wonderful are their lives really? How aware of it? How often? What does it look like? So one thing practically that I do every single day, I've done it over 10 years now. I did it this morning. The first act of my day is what I call an act of hyper-focused gratitude. Before my feet hit the floor, I wake up, I realize I'm awake, and I put my hand on my chest, take a deep breath, and I just say, thank you to the giver of that breath. I say thank you for my 22,000 breaths this day. This is just one of 22,000. I don't even have to think about each one a gift. Sometimes I'll step it up and I'll feel my wrist, or I'll pay attention to my heartbeat, and I'll think 100,000 heartbeats I have this day. Each one of them a gift. May each one of them be stewarded well. And so that's just a way to just say, my goodness, I'm alive, I'm awake. God willing, I'm quite young relative to my oldest self. And so I feel that. I basically feel a responsibility, Brian, to emotionalize the truth of how wonderful it is to wake up this day. And then to, one, be mindful of my blessings, and then to be a blessing everywhere I go. And basically, in my experience, the more we simply acknowledge the truth of how wonderful each moment is, that we beat 1 in 400 trillion to just be alive and have any experience, I mean, you can't not be filled with gratitude, just true, pure gratitude. We're all going through challenges, but when we just simply acknowledge the truth of how wonderful and how blessed we are to have our set, we just feel grateful. So that's just one way in which I'm like, man, every single day, let it not be lost on me. Let it not be lost on me how wonderful this day is really. Let not one blessing go by unacknowledged or unappreciated. Let me not be subject to the law of familiarity or hedonistic adaptation. Let me just be mindful of my blessings and then to be a blessing everywhere I go. So that's just one thing I do. Hyper-focused gratitude every single day. That'll help.
Well, I had an intuition to pick you for a reason, and that was very, very deep and appreciated, because that's I like that, hyper-focused gratitude. And you literally shared exactly what that means. I'd be surprised if anybody here has ever gotten to that level. It's something I'm going to try to put into, I'll put into practice tomorrow morning. And I do wake up and I thank God, but I think it's not hyper-focused. You went down to the heartbeat, the breath, like the one pulse. Like I'm more up here, right? About the, thankful for the things that are done and thankful for my health, but that's kind of a general statement. So I'm going to try that tomorrow myself. So thank you for that. That was amazing. Amazing.
Appreciate that, Brian. Thanks for asking.
Ivan, what about you, brother? I know you have, so you when I met you, what I call an unconscious competent, you've just very, very, very tapped into source, creating life as a game, or business is a game to this guy. If you don't know him, all his businesses, they're a game. And it's funny, I can't even talk like that without talking like you. But what are some of the morning routines, or what are some of the things you do to keep those fields, balanced, to balance with source and to connect to source?
Well, first of all, I like to study. So I like to study knowledge that will allow me to understand more about myself and the relation of myself with others and the universe that we live in. So that's something that I love to do. I like to be in well communication and affinity with the people that I love and the friends, and so on. My creation, what I actually pray for is to become every single day a better friend for others than what I was yesterday. You see, so that friend that you wish you can have, right? And then something that I do is, I think is important. For example, I believe that some people wait until the end of the year to create their life so they can have a New Year's resolution. And so I don't believe in that. So I don't do New Year's resolutions, for example.
I'd be surprised if anybody here does them.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody's waiting here until some arbitrary date to make a decision. But yeah, it does happen around the world. The whole world, New Year's resolutions. Which is why the whole world's in chaos.
So I just like to treat every day as if it was that January 1st. That's what I was trying to say.
That's what we should do in the group. What day is it? January 1st. January 1st. January 1st.
Yes.
And I think we're onto something there. There's 365 January 1st a year.
And I have a short video that it goes with what I just said, which is 2 minutes and a half, if you want me to share it, because it's exactly that line of thought of treating everything.
If you can pull it up, go ahead and pull it up. Let me know when you got it. I'll keep going on the group. I'll give you a screen share too. Hold on.
Okay.
Greg, what about you, bud? What are some things that you do? You've been tapped into source for quite some time. It's been a part of your life for many decades, I believe. Understanding.
Well, I know just through daily practice, meditation is super important. I meditate twice a day. And I couldn't do my life without that. It just centers me. One thing I have been doing.
If I ask you personally, what times a day do you do it, and for how long? Just curious.
So my morning session usually is like a mid-morning, like 10 usually. Not first thing when I get up, because it's just living in a house with 5 kids can be challenging. Because they're running in perhaps your bedroom before you're even awake. So I do usually 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, and then at night it's usually an hour. So a sleep meditation, usually chi, and then usually meditate. So it's very ingrained in what I'm doing. And the other thing I've been recently doing is I heard, like a TikTok short or a YouTube short, and some guys like, hey, if you want to change your life, do these 3 things. I'm like, okay. So he said, start brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, take 10 deep breaths an hour, and look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, I love you. Like look into your eyes, because I don't think any of us I haven't done that, and I started doing that. And the guy's like, I'll write a check out for $100,000 if that doesn't change your life. So, and I've been doing it now for 2 weeks. So, by all means, I don't live, the most perfect existence, but, we do our best on a daily basis to stay in vibration, and to be that magnet for others. And it's super important. I think the price we pay to remain in vibration is the daily study and the daily habits, right? And the outcome, of course, is to be able to stay in vibration, right? That's the whole point. So, because the world is relying on us to do that. So I think it's a big responsibility, but it's one that we don't take for granted.
I love what you said as you wrapped up. The world is depending on us, right, to be the higher, fuller expressions of ourselves. So, does anybody here not know why brushing your teeth with the opposite hand? Like, why would you do that? Does anybody not know why? I think most people do, but if you don't, just raise your hand. I just want to explain it. Everybody good? Yeah, that all meant the 10 deep breaths is a body, it's a physiology thing, right? It totally makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I love that. Ivan, did you find the video? Yeah.
Yep.
And then, well, Brian, I'm curious about your articulation as to why to brush your teeth with the.
No, absolutely. So brushing your teeth it's not your left hand, it's your non-dominant hand. If you're left-handed, you do it with your right. It's to show you how challenging it can be to change your subconscious programming. It's to remind you that changing paradigms is a conscious thing that you need to focus on, because your subconscious mind is about 1 million times more powerful at storing programs, data, habits. And in order to get to the next level, we all need to build new mental programs. It's what drives creation, right? So when you're brushing with your non-dominant hand, it's going to feel off and awkward. And it's just a reminder that anything you're going to do when you're rewiring your subconscious initially is going to feel off, awkward, or produce a double binding message from your conscious to your subconscious. So it's more of a reminder. Or the other thing is try to write in cursive with your non-dominant hand. One of the things Bob had us do is, and it's so funny because he tells a story. He did it for 390 days straight without fail. He wrote his goals 10 times a day with his non-dominant hand. And he says, you would have thought that my writing would have got better, but it didn't. I think it got worse. But you guys should try that. Try writing your goal once in cursive with your non-dominant hand. You're going to see it's you're like a 3-year-old learning to write for the first time, unless some of you have been doing it. And it illustrates how challenging it can be to develop new mental programs towards your C-type goal. And it's just a reminder. So the other thing it does, if you're writing your goal, it's like Trey said, it makes you hyper focus on your goal. Like you are all in, like your willpower is just like writing out your goal with the non-dominant hand. And this is as much a reminder for me as it is you guys. I'm gonna take that up tonight, because it causes us to put intense energy towards our goal. So thanks for that, Trey.
Hey, just a tangent note. I don't know how many of us in this room are super passionate about our toothbrush, but while we're on the topic, I love my toothbrush. It's a pressure washer for your mouth. It's called a Water Pick 2.0. It's brushing and it's pressure washing. It's incredible. I so love it. Water Pick.
Put your affiliate link. Put your affiliate link in the WhatsApp.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I just want to spread the love.
Yeah, no,
I need to
seriously.
update my Christmas list.
if you have a link, or Valerie, find the link for everybody on what he's talking about. Because some people probably get it. I have a really psycho toothbrush too. It's awesome. It's this little vibrating thing, but maybe I'll have to check the water pick out. It's awesome. Ivan, good to go, bud?
Yes.
Share away, my friend. Make sure you hit the share sound button.
Yes.
Dear friend, do you mind if I have a word? Dear friend, do you mind if I have a word? It won't take much of your time, I promise. Let's skip the introductions, as we know each other quite well. Yes, it's me speaking, January the 1st. I know it hasn't been exactly easy since we last saw each other, but I'm here to remind you that we're about to meet again very soon. And so I thought I'd share a piece of advice. A word, really. But one that will help you get through the other 364 days with ease. And the word is movement. That's right, movement. I'd love to see you start the year doing just that. Moving. And I don't just mean the exercise kind. I mean movement of the spirit, of the soul. Move. So you can move someone else's heart. Move so you can find the inspiration to create, to invent. You see, when you're moving, there's no time for fear, for doubts, because it pushes you forward, makes you stronger, wiser. So take my word, write it down on a napkin, put it in your smartphone. Movement inspires. And when put into action, it will make every single day of your year count. Starting with me, your friend, January the 1st.
Oh, that's awesome, brother. I think you showed me that a while back. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if you guys like me, but I spend a lot of time at my desk, a lot of time on Zooms, meetings. I mean, most of what I do is right here in this room. And I got to remind myself, like in between meetings, just get down and do 50 push-ups, like do something, move, stand up. Right now, I'm standing up at this motorized desk. But if you do have like a desk job, or if you're sitting down most of the day, I highly encourage getting a motorized desk to change the cadence and stand up. But don't forget to take a break and breathe, and maybe bust out some push-ups, some jumping jacks or something. It's amazing how your body will just disintegrate over time without movement. So awesome. Thanks for that.
Craig, can you look in the chat? We're having a debate on which one it is.
Yeah, I'm just now finding it. And
what brand is it?
Waterpick. That's the brand. So
is it Sonic Fusion?
Yeah, it's the Sonic Fusion 2.0. So I'm about to share the link.
Thank you.
Maybe that's even depending on what it is. Maybe that's an Elite 100 gift. We'll see.
Ooh, good idea.
Merry Christmas. Awesome, everybody. Let me ask you this. Who got something from today that they're going to implement? One small thing, right? And that's the power of these content days. Obviously, the masterminding and goals is awesome. The revenue streams is awesome. But I get more out of these than I think anything when we're going deep into getting out of the day-to-day stuff, right? And connecting with each other. And so good. I'm glad you got something that you're going to implement. I got some things too. So have an amazing week, everybody. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. I'll be thinking about you all. I think about you all daily, but certainly on Thanksgiving, we'll be sending out some additional love to you and your families for health and happiness, and send some love back because it's my birthday. Woo!
Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Have a great week,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, feliz cumpleaños, amigo.
Gracias, mi amigo.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.